Good morning, sports fans. You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. We're out here at the Christian Village, the area's leader for senior living and healthcare services. Give them a call at 732-2189 for a tour. Josh Komnick along with the furniture guy, Jake Johnston. And
good day.
Jake, a lot of things going on. Of course, we had another winning Saturday today, so we always love that after a big Railer victory. Of course, we'll have Coach Neil Alexander here. He's here right now, and then we're going to have a couple of basketball players that stopped in to talk about the win last night, and then the upcoming regional. The seedings were out. We'll talk with Coach about that. Big Illini victory. Was that Thursday night?
I think it was.
Yeah, Thursday night after we were kind of dogging them a little bit last week, and they come out of the woodwork and pull off a huge one against Indiana. Probably puts them into the tournament. So we've got to talk about a little bit about that. Of course, your team reports, I think, for pitchers and catchers pretty shortly, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually had a friend following the bus.
Yeah,
on the way to Florida. So
my team does not report. They're
not reporting
never report. No, they just don't even have to show up.
They're just going to bypass it.
Right? Yeah, that's. We'll go over to Peoria and watch the real team, and of course the Railers. That big victory last night. As Coach Neil Alexander, Coach, thanks for joining us here. The Railers win 71-32, and Coach, leading into the week, of course, Rochester gave us a pretty good game, which that game was a little bit different. We came off of a game in the Schnucks Holiday Classic down at Chatham. We played the 8 o'clock game that night before on a Friday against Chatham. Of course, had a good game there, beat Chatham. Had to wake up again real early, get down there at 10 o'clock. Rochester shot the ball pretty well on us the last time. They got it into the big Swain kid and posed some problems really until about halftime, until the Railers took over, and I think was a 71-52 winner. They put up the most points against us really since Cahokia did, but they were far from that last night. The Railers were in control, especially right from the tip.
I think the kids jumped out real quick. They started out, we had our defense kind of. The 52 points, I think, kind of set a burr under the saddle. And kids came out, and they were, really focused at the defensive end. And that defense led to 10 straight points there in the first 50 or 45 seconds of the game. So it was a great start last night.
3 straight turnovers, I think. Pod got a layup, and then Pod hit a big 3. I think it was 7-0 before Rochester knew it, and even on the sideline, you didn't see their normal head coach on there. So everything was a little bit disarray. It looked like for Rochester, but Swain was the guy that caused us some problems the last time we played him, and we pretty much took him out of the ball, took him out of the game. The problem was, they would struggle to get across half court to get him the basketball.
Yeah, I thought our kids done a nice job, and they've been focused defensively, and we're doing some things, trying to get our kids psyched up to finish the year.
Obviously, the pressure hurt the Rochester Rockets last night. 26 turnovers, and at one point they had more turnovers than points. And Jake, anytime you have that is not most of the time very good.
Well, it makes it pretty difficult. Like you guys were commenting on the pressure up front right off the get-go. Being a fan in the stands, we're watching, and even my kids were noticing, Dad, they can't get the ball across half court.
Normally you have to get it across half court to score.
It makes it a little easier, but I will tell you, their Swain guy, he only had a couple touches.
Yeah.
You take that away, you can tell he's obviously a big body and a good banger down there, and taking the ball out of his hands with the defense that Coach put out there, it worked pretty well last night.
Well, we got off to good shooting too, Coach. Pod Belsic started out on fire, several threes there in the first quarter, and really from the first tip after it was 10-0, Rochester made a little bit of a comeback. I think it was cut it to 17-8 or something right in that area. But then after that, the turnover started to mount. We started to wear them down. And you were as substituting as much as last night as I'd seen substitution pattern you for a long time.
Well, I've turned that over to the assistants. It's hard. It's really hard to stay focused on the game and then the substitution and everything. And the staff done a nice job of getting kids in.
Well, that way, if they put the wrong person in, you can blame somebody else, right?
Oh boy!
And Coach had them going again last night, 71-32. The Railers improved their record to 22-4 on the season, 12-2 in the Central State 8. They are tied, a league tied with Southeast so far. The Rochester Rockets drop to 3-22, 1-12 on the season. And Coach, really from the get-go, you had it going. Of course, the steals were coming, but I thought the backs last night moved just as well. Bowlby, Gavin Block, Cruz, tons of steals from the back. The guys were anticipating the cross-court passes and picking them off like crazy.
Well, if they play the defense correct, that's the way it should work. And our guys are starting to understand what we're doing and everything. So, you know, it worked pretty well last night. Maybe it'll do the same tonight. Yeah,
you've got, of course, another one, tough one coming tonight as Glenbrook South comes to town. Coach, let's go over some of the stats last night for the Railers. They were led in scoring, which was, of course, another balanced attack. 15 points from Will Podbelsic. He was 5 of 10 from the field. All those shots were from three-point land. 5 of 10 for 50%. 15 points for Will Podbelsic. Max Cook had 14. He was 5 of 9 total from the field. He was 4 of 7 from 3 for 14 points. He also had 4 assists. Next was 9 points from Edward Bowlby. He was 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 1 from the three-point line. He had couple rebounds. Also, 9 points from Tyler Horchem, who generally is the guy that bombs him from 3, but last night he was hitting layups, going to the rack like crazy. 4 of 8 from the field, 4 of 4 from the two-point land. 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He had 9 points. And Gavin Block, 8 points. 3 of 3 from the field, 2 of 2 from the two-point land, 1 of 1. Wow, didn't miss a shot. 1 of 1 from the free throw line. 8 points for Gavin, several rebounds. All in all, you guys didn't turn the ball over. 9 turnovers on 17 assists, so almost that 2-to-1 ratio that you kind of look for.
Yeah, you know, it is a good ball game for us. We've done everything the way we should. You know, on the defense of Rochester, they've had a lot of sickness this week. That's where their head coach was. He's had the flu all week. Swain was out all week. I think he just came to school yesterday. Was his first day in school this week. So they did have some sickness, but whether they had sickness or not, they probably had a little bit more on the bus going home last night.
Yeah, it was one of those games where it was almost like the time we played Taylorville when we walked in. Of course, they were pumped up, and Rochester wasn't necessarily pumped up last night, but it was over from the tip. The Railers just tough to beat last night, and I've told Jeff this a number of times. I don't know that you can zone this Railer team. The ball movement is so good, the shooters are so good, and when we're hitting threes like we were last night, and still guys taking it to the hoop, it's really man-to-man or nothing, I think.
Yeah, our zone offense has been very good all season, and you know, I don't think we'll see it tonight, but we'll see it next week. You know, Moline plays a 2-3 zone, but you know, we've got great ball movement. Spacing's very good. Coach Ewald's done a great job with our zone offense, and you know, when you hit shots, it makes you look pretty good. So kids are shooting the ball exceptionally well right now.
Yeah, and especially when you get home now, a couple games here in a row, 1 tonight and 2 next week, and then of course the last game of the regular season is at Lanphier. 24 total rebounds for the Railers, 7 of those on the offensive end. We trailed Rochester by just 1 rebound, and that's kind of normal for the Railer teams. But a stat that I like, points per possession. The Railers 1.31 points per possession. Rochester 0.58. So when we're doubling them, almost triple them almost every possession, that leads to a 71-32 victory. We'll come back here in just a couple minutes, bring on some of the players, and also go through what happened in the Central State 8 last night. You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCN online. Back out here at the Christian Village, the area's leader for senior living and healthcare services. Give them a call at 732-2189 for a tour. Josh Komnick along with the furniture guy, Jake Johnston. You're in the Cheap Seats. And, Jake, we've got, of course, head basketball coach, Coach Neil Alexander. And now we've got a couple of Railers. Just 3 of the guys that have helped this team to a 22-4 record, 12-2 atop the Central State 8. And last night they were a winner 71-32. Gavin Block, Edward Bowlby, and Tyler Horchem join us now. And Gavin has stepped up to the mic. And Gavin, first of all, thanks. Coach said you guys just got up. I don't know if Coach picked you guys up or made you get out of bed, but they're here anyway. And Gavin, thanks for coming in today. A big win last night, 71-32, and Gavin, 22-4 on the season, 12-2 in the conference, coming off a season of 16-16 last year. What's the big difference between last year's squad and now this team that you guys have right now?
Well, I think that this year we come in every day practice, and we have a little chip on our shoulder every game, it seems like, and we want to come in and work hard, and we got everyone that's we all know each other real well, and we just play good together and as a whole, and that's what I really like about this year.
Coach, there's no question. Gavin talks about the guys working well together, and this is as good a passing team as we've seen in a number of years. They pass it well. They're very unselfish, sometimes too unselfish at times, but you can tell they kind of know where each other is supposed to be.
Well, they do, but that's part of our offensive system that Coach E's put together. But they know each other very well. Sometimes they're really too unselfish, where even last night I know of a couple incidents, both Ed and Gavin just passed the ball out for a 3 instead of taking a wide open layup, and sometimes it becomes too much of passing, but they move the ball exceptionally well, and when you have an unselfish basketball team, you got some good things going.
Gavin, I think, had some style points last night on a couple of his passes, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a couple turnovers on style points.
Yeah, I saw one of those style ones go out of bounds.
I was tipped.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Refs missed that one, didn't they? But Gavin, too, yourself a little bit personally gotten a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger this year. What's been the difference in your game moving from a freshman to sophomore, and some things that also you need to work on?
Well, I feel like this year I just have a feel for the game more. I got a good little experience last year from a couple leaders on the team last year, and this year I feel like I can just help other guys out, and since I've already played a little bit. And then I just feel like we just need to keep getting stronger and just keep playing good basketball.
Yeah, definitely playing good basketball right now. A good stretch for the Railers going on. Gavin, the #1 seed in the regional, obviously something that you guys were working for. You've got a little work left to do, and hopefully that outright Central State 8 championship. Of course, Glenbrook South coming up tonight, and then the big one, SHG, coming home. A little payback next Friday night.
Right. We always got a big target on our back, but we like it, and we just want to keep playing hard.
Yeah, just you talk about the target, just losing one senior, and that one senior will be a huge one in Will Podbelsic, but the 3 guys behind me are all juniors, so a lot of experience coming back for next year. Gavin, thanks for coming in, and pass that on over to the big man underneath, Ed Bowlby, who has we talked about Coach Ed started out the season on fire, maybe our most consistent shooter. Took a little lull in between the season, but now he's been the recipient of some great passing by the Railers, and a guy that's been finishing very well underneath the hoop.
Yeah, he's doing that as well as shooting the ball exceptionally well, and with his size and being able to step to the perimeter, he creates a lot of mismatch opportunities for our opponents. And if I was a coach that had to coach against Lincoln, I don't know where I'd start. Who do you stop? Where do you go? We got so many different weapons, and tonight it could be Gavin. Tomorrow night it could be Ed, Tyler. There's about up to 5 or 6 guys that could have big nights, and it's kind of hard to pick where you're going to start at.
Ed Bowlby last night, 4 of 6 from the field. He was 1 of 1 from the three-point line, 9 points and a couple of rebounds. And Ed, talk about your confidence and your comfort level right now. It looks like to me out there receiving passes down low, your reverse layup is almost money anymore. And then, of course, when you get a big guy on you, you can step outside and shoot it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy when you got the teammates around you that can pass to you. It's pretty easy to put in a layup when you have Gavin, Max, Tyler that can pass the ball to you anytime.
Yeah, they've definitely found you. I don't know, really, since almost that Normal West game where he went crazy on finishing underneath the basket and along the baseline. Here in the last couple of games, it seems like you've gotten probably 6 or 8 points from nice reverse layups, nice passes from your teammates, but also you've been knocking down the outside shot too.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's pretty easy just putting in a little layup, but But I also like to step out and shoot the three.
I think they all do. Yeah, I was going to say, don't they all like to shoot it from the outside? And Ed, 22-4 on the season. Any idea that it would be this good this year, coming off a 16-16 record from last year?
Well, I was hoping I just could play this year because of my knee, but I was hoping that it was going to be a good year and good fun year.
Yeah, Coach, you talk about Ed, one of the hardest workers you've got on the team. He had that bad knee injury, and like you said, maybe a little worried if he would come back full strength.
Yeah, we were worried that, we were going to have him this season, but, he's not complained at all about the knee. I couldn't even tell you if it is hurting him, but, he comes every day, he works hard, and does what he has to do to get the knee to where it's at. So we're just hoping it stays strong and keeps on moving.
Ed, one thing this team's got to improve on a little bit before the end of the season, and of course when you hit regionals.
Oh, that's rebounding for sure. We just got to box out and come to rebound every game.
Yeah, last night, of course, you went up against Swain, who, as Coach said, maybe a little bit under the weather. He did have 8 rebounds, but obviously not a factor. You're one of the guys, yourself and Gavin, Cruzy in there. Conrad, he got some good minutes last night that helped him or helped the team keep him off the boards for the most part.
Yeah, I thought Cruz and Adam Conrad came in and played really good against him, and I think we shut him down. I don't know how many points he had or rebounds, but I think those two and Gavin did a real good job against him.
Yeah, 3 points, and he did have 8 rebounds, which is not bad, but 6 for 7, and we don't necessarily go to the boards a lot on the offensive end, so he has a chance to get a few more boards. But Coach Bowlby, all in all, this season, a guy he had in the middle has been rather steady.
Oh, very much. I think the whole team has been steady throughout the year, and when you have a record of 22-4, you have to have consistency, and that's a sign of a good basketball team. And it's the confidence that each and every one of them have in each other and the trust that they have. And if you got those ingredients for a basketball team, it's usually successful.
We talk about it on the during the games at all times. If there's going to be a charge taken, it's generally between the guy that just was talking and the guy that's got the mic now. And we asked if they had a little bit of a competition, and they're saying no, but I got a feeling they got a little bit of a chalkboard at home. When I get one, I go home after that game and I put one, and Ed's probably got one on his. Any idea who's closer on the charges taken, guys?
I would say probably Gavin.
I knew you would say that.
He likes to flop, I would say.
Oh, okay, because he's a flopper. All right, I got you. Any idea of how many? I know you guys, when somebody's coming down the lane, and I love it, Coach, they're good-sized kids, 6'5", both Gavin and Bowlby, but they'd just rather soon take the charge, I think. And any idea how many you've taken so far this year?
I couldn't tell you.
All right, we're going to get the specifics on the stats. You've got one of the best in the business, and Andy Fitz, but we've got to figure out who's taking more charges for next week. But it's been pretty close.
It's been, and that's been an important part of our defense. If you can take some charges, it slows those guys down going to the basket, and these guys have done well. What they've done this year, we probably haven't done over the last 7 or 8 years. Yeah. So it's a couple guys that have really, the perimeter players are forcing the guys to go to the basket, and then these guys are picking up from there.
Ed, hand that over to Tyler Horchem, who almost conquered his 2-point shooting last night. He was 4 of 4 from 2-point land. I think before that he had made 13 total on the season. He's usually the long bomber. And Coach, if I had to pick maybe a guy that was probably the key so far to this season, especially when Joey Olden goes down, a guy that picked it up a little more maybe than you thought, or he did have it in him. We saw him; he could shoot it from last year at the sophomore level. Him or probably Cruz coming off the bench when some of these two guys get in foul trouble, maybe the biggest key of the season so far.
Well, it has been, and Tyler's a shooter, and as well as I know that shooters got to have get their shots during a game, and so being on the floor is important and things, and Tyler got that opportunity, and I think that's a strong key for us going down the stretch is the experience that he gained, which if Joey wouldn't have got hurt, it would have been spread out the playing time, but he got more playing time there, and he hit the shots, and it's made us better.
Yeah, there's no question. And Tyler, when Joey, obviously you never want to see a teammate, a friend get hurt, but did you feel hey, it's time for me to pick it up a little bit?
Yeah, I just knew I had to fill some big shoes there with Joey. Great defense, so I had to pick it up on that end of the court. Shoot the ball.
Yeah, there's no question. There were times where we'd always say if Tyler hits one, there's going to be at least one or two more left to come behind that. And one thing that Coach Al does really well is finds a guy when they've been hitting. You're maybe the leading in the threes for the Rail Splitters this year. How comfortable are you out there with the time that the experience that you've gotten?
It's gotten better over time because once Joey went down, I've been playing ever since. So been pretty comfortable lately.
Yeah, shooting it well last night. Not from the three, which is normally his game, but 4 of 4 from the field, the 2-point land. What was the game plan last night? Got to go to the hoop a little bit.
I don't know. I must have been something in lunch or what. But, just wasn't falling from three, so I had to take it to the hoop a little bit.
Yeah, that's nice. I've always said one thing, when your three's not going, you got to find some other way to do something to help your team. Of course, defensively, Coach, when he was on the bottom side, on the backside rebounding, he's as good as it gets as far as his strength, just knowing where the shots are supposed to come off. And he normally, if he doesn't get the rebound, that guy that's there doesn't get it either.
No, the other guy gets usually a good shot in the thigh. But, that's what he's got to do. And, our wings are not, 6'4", 6'5", so, we got to go down. You take a look. We got on the other side, you got Will Podbelsic going down there at 5'9", trying to rebound against or against 6'7", 6'8" guys. So the guys have done a great job.
Yeah, Tyler, and one thing that you guys have to improve on, you've got tonight against Glenbrook South, and then, of course, the game's coming up between Griffin, and then Moline comes to town, and then we got to go to Lanford, that big one on the road, if we can get through the rest. But then you get into regional. What's one thing that the team's really got to concentrate on?
Well, like Eddie said, we definitely got to rebound and just play with poise all the time, and got to take one game at a time. Yeah,
they've got Coach, already 4 games left in the regular season, and regional's hitting again.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? It just seems like we started yesterday, and I off the top of my head, I make a practice plan every night, and I think we've had I think the next one will be practice number 66, but they've only got 4 more this week and 4 next week, and then they're into regionals, so time's running out. And I don't know if you ever remember me telling you how quick it goes by. And
we didn't listen, though.
No, you don't. And these guys don't either. They just try to survive, and you try to get them to understand that the opportunity is there for a short period of time. And these guys have worked hard. It's not that they've kind of skated through, but I think sometime, and even hearing it from you, would let them know that, hey, the opportunity is not there very long, and it's over before you know it.
No, you're definitely right. I wish you could. You go back when my age, or even how old Jake is, but but you get back and you say, man, I just could have given a little bit more that Friday, or I could have given a little more on that Monday's practice. And you're right, it does go by really fast. But Coach, let's get into the scores from last night real quick. 77-53 Southeast over Taylorville. They stay atop with us at the lead at 12-2 in the conference. Chatham-Glenwood 46, Springfield 40. And the big one, maybe a shocker, maybe not, Jacksonville 71, Sacred Heart Griffin 66 in double overtime. So for the most part, that takes Griffin out of the Central State 8 race, really with the Railers and Southeast. But again, they're going to be ready next Friday. There's no question.
Oh, they're going to come in. They've read articles where they woke us up and things, and I'd really like to have them come in and really do a number on
them. Put them back to sleep.
Yeah, put them back.
That's what I'd like to see.
But they're a good basketball team. They're very well coached. Blake does a great job with them. He's a young, really good young coach, and he'll have them pumped up coming in here, and like everybody likes beating Lincoln.
Especially at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Some scores of interest. Niles West was a winner 64-49 over Glenbrook South. That's our opponent tonight. And again, Coach, that is a 5 o'clock start for the sophomores and 6:30 for the varsity, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And U High was a winner 56-54. That's the number 2 seed in the regional. That's at Bloomington High in just a couple of weeks over Central Catholic 54. Bloomington 70 and Centennial 66, so kind of a little bit of a shocker there. But Coach, real quick, in the regional set up the way you kind of anticipated, you were a little nervous, but I was not at all. With the competition that we play in the Central State 8, there's no question we had the number 1 seed with me wrapped up whether we win last week or not. The competition between U-High's conference and ours, there's just no question about it, and we got home the number 1 seed.
Well, and that was big. I think there's 3 teams, but the other 2, Bloomington Central Catholic played U-High tough last night, and Eisenhower, if you go in there with the idea that you just have to show up, they're talented enough to beat us. And our guys, I think they understand that they have to play, that we just can't show up. And if we're not focused and we're not ready to play, at that point, 1 game and done, and that's the way it works. But the important thing was that being the number 1 seed is we won't have to beat both Bloomington and U-High. We'll get the 4th, 5th seed, the first round game on Tuesday night, and that's after they play on Monday night. So, hope we can step up and play. U-High and Bloomington have to play each other, and then the winner of our game gets them.
Yeah, as you said, the number 1 seed gets you there, but you still got to go win the games.
Still got to win,
and it'll be even more pressure. We've been the number 1 seed before and haven't been able to come out on top. So definitely a tough one, and that's also Central Catholic. And go through the schools real quick, Coach.
We were 1. U-High was 2, normal U-High, and then Bloomington was 3. Bloomington Central Catholic was 4, and then Decatur Eisenhower was 5. And again, there's another instance with the IHSA. You got Decatur school split up, and one of them is in Bloomington, and then the other one's down at Mattoon. And it's just unbelievable that we play 2 different types of tournaments.
Yeah, and then all the Springfield schools go over to Jacksonville, and what a regional that'll be.
Oh boy.
Oh man, there's some. If you're a coach of the Southeast or I don't care who are, Jacksonville, that's well, you're a little upset with the pairings there.
You got Rochester's over there, and the regional is supposed to be played at Rochester, but due to the gym and the bleacher situation, they had to move it because of the type of that's going to be a very competitive regional, and it's going to be, and Jacksonville would be a nice place to play it.
Right.
But the Jacksonville people had to be elated when that thing got moved over there. But I think you got 5 teams there that flip a coin, and if Glenwood gets Peyton Allen back, I know he practiced last week, but 2 or 3 days, but he's still really a long way off. But that's a team that. And the thing for Southeast is the last game of the year they have to play Southeast at Glenwood, and if it happens, and it would be on the following Tuesday, it would be the same matchup. And sports fans know that playing 2 teams back to back within 3 or 4 days is not good, especially when you've lost to them twice, and well, it'd be 3 times because they beat them down at the Collinsville tournament. So you don't know who's going to come out of there. But that would be the first round matchup in the sectional, would be the Bloomington winner versus the Jacksonville winner.
At Mount Zion.
At Mount Zion.
Sounds good, Coach. Thanks for coming in. Guys, thanks for coming in. Good luck tonight. We'll have another tough one here, and then let's wrap up the regular season in the next couple weeks and run into regionals and make some noise. So that's going to do it here. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.